We bond with people based on our genetic imperative to find what is different. Who we bond with is based on our genes. So reproducing is the first law. Go forth and multiply, says our genetic imperative, not just to mate and to have sex and to be able to have children, but also to commune in conversation. It's never personal. What happens is sameness is usually a dead-end street for the genes. Diversity is more attractive to genes. So your body needs to reproduce, and you as a passenger are witnessing and watching this. So you can see the truth of this just by going and looking at all of the people that you really like listening to, talking to, hanging out with. Usually they have a definition where you have an openness, or they have a gate activation where you have the other side. There is this looking for that attractor field, and you get conditioned by that. Not that it's bad, no good, bad, right, wrong. Just that it needs to be correct for you, that you commune with this person, listen to this person, share with this person, grow with this person. And you cannot take their truth as your own, no matter what they say or what you in your head say. Okay? Because you need to stand in integrity with your own authority. Now, the flip side of the open centers is that there's lots of wisdom there. Open centers are where you are receptive and adaptable to learning, to having potential, possibility for wisdom for others in any of these open centers. But you cannot take that wisdom and shove it down their throat. You cannot say, well, you should do this. I've learned this. You must do this. You have to do that. That's not the way to go. It has to be a mutual communion where we are in honor of each other's energy. When there is an opening and someone asks you, invites you, recognizes, informs you, when they give you the space to speak, when they ask, well, what do you think? If you have a gate 62 hanging out in an undefined center, what do you think? You know that that person really wants to know what you think. So recognizing the specific keys and clues. Example, the wisdom potential of a totally open heart here is recognizing who's operating in alignment with regards to worth and their work, in integrity with their ego, has a healthy ego. Witnessing developing wisdom is what you're here for. Recognizing who has the willpower to prove themselves, to support the tribe, to empower a new way, to be able to lead the tribe. So wisdom is about others in communion, in connection with the totality, with life. If we were looking at your human design body graph as a business, that open center is an immense profit potential as well, something that other people come to you for when you've learned the lesson and not before. So conditioning receptors, again, conscious or unconscious, a gate, or we could also call it a trait. In that undefined center, imagine, remember I said it was like a profit center? This is the window dressing. This is what you've got hanging out in that store. This is what other people come to you for. One of the things that they're looking for you for with regards to what do you know? What have you seen? What have you experienced? What's your take on this? Now, what happens when you believe your mind's story instead of using it as an outer authority is there's a chain reaction. Instead of waiting for that energy to be drawn from you, you take that energy in, amplify, distort, overreact, and then there's misunderstanding. There is a way of stopping this chain reaction. If we use our strategy and authority, we can find our correct focus. We can observe without evaluation and distortion. We can have the wisdom through correct awareness. The awareness is key and it's everything, especially for those of you who are undefined in the sacral. Maybe you've got some awareness functions. We know what the awareness functions are. If you're actually taking this class with me, you're knowing that those awareness functions, when they're defined, they're here to provide awareness. So if you're undefined in the sacral, you may not know when somebody else is open to your awareness. You may be overzealous. You may overdo it. So if we can follow that mechanical framework in the beginning, it's really challenging unless you've been lucky enough to already live that way in your life. It can be really challenging. But as we move through forward in the rest of this Rave cartography, should you want to join either Peter or myself for the rest of the classes, this is an opportunity to practice strategy and authority. Okay, so this is how we're going to interface with each other in honor and integrity of who each other is, practicing, playing with our strategies and authorities. Now, you remember the crystals of consciousness? In this course, we are going to be talking further, deeper about the mechanics behind how these crystals work. Your personality is affiliated with self-reflected consciousness, the soul that was you before time was time, at the eternal nature of you. The design crystal and the magnetic monopole, those are actually of the earth itself. So life's illusion of us being separated, a different thing than something that is in partnership with totality, the illusion of separateness is actually created by this magnetic monopole, literally living here in gate 2, whether you have a 2 with a planet defined in it or not. And this monopole is what holds the body and the personality together. So we're going to talk more about what the difference is between what we were before for 90,000 years and what we shifted into and what we're becoming with regards to the mutation of humans in this particular course, because you are your own authority. Again, remember, don't take my truth. Don't take Ra's truth. Ra would often say, don't believe me. Try it for yourself. Surrendering to the form. There's a little meme on Facebook that Chaitanya put together. Honey, can you please wake up our son? You live in a biverse, and you are here as a unique passenger to experience the life of the form, and your mind is not your authority. What? Yes, it's true. So we're attempting to re-educate you, to go back and redo some of these things that you took in. Example, anything that's in the not self as a framing, as a viewpoint, to let go of all those false and negative belief systems that you're maybe holding on to that are not good for you, those people, places, and things that don't serve you, to let go of the misbelief and the distortions. That is in integrity with this deep transformation that you can achieve or experience when you take courses like this, especially in group, to witness and watch, especially if you're a projector, to watch other people go through it. Now, the wisdom potential, again, remember, correct conditioning that you take in that is in alignment with your authority to process or to do something with. It's actually, the openness is where we get nourished by life. Our designs, our connections, the planet, all of these connections that we have brings a wisdom potential that now we can offer as a unique, differentiated perspective, outer authority.